Trained as a butler, hired as a footman, the character Mr. Mosley in the Downton Abbey television series found this humbling transition to be almost unpalatable. Sort of how I felt about my new role in a new band playing bass. During a jam lacking momentum, I looked around the room like Nikun. Oh, you don't measure up. Oh, you're doing it wrong. My subjective estimations were getting in the way. I was also certain that my role in a jam band sextet would be sonically limiting, similar to the antithetical union between Gawain and Ragnell. In the tale of King Arthur, Ragnell gives a ghastly laugh. I got the sense that she was appallingly ugly in an effort to break down Gawain and his chivalrous demeanor. In my band, I forced myself to cooperate. But why was I so opposed to cooperation? Gawain's marriage to Ragnell seems forced and wrong. One may think that Gawain's competence and physical appeal grant him ascendancy, but he shows strength and character by being obedient instead. The lead guitarist of my new band is one of my best mates. We lived on the same floor freshman year and spent many hours playing and dialoguing music. The irony is that I take a lot of the credit for his growth as a musician. Some of the other members don't know this. Gawain lifts the spell completely when he shows an authentic and enduring submission to Ragnell and King Arthur. And by doing this, he receives what we assume he deserves. Who in the group holds sovereignty? Well, if you take the band as a whole to be a separate entity, give it complete sovereignty, then each member becomes very powerful by extension. I decided to really invest myself in the music, and there was a noticeable turnaround between where we started and our first show together. After the gig, everyone thanked me and told me how integral I was to our success. I gave up power, but I ended up feeling very important. The prince in the mechanical horse story mounts the ebony horse and flies away towards his heart's desire. He finds himself at a castle and compulsively intrudes into the bedroom of a sleeping princess. This is the classic, dubious tale of love at first sight. Compare this to the king in the Horse of Power story. Both characters are searching for gratification. Why is the king viewed as insatiable and abusive, while the prince's quest seen as completely justifiable? When I applied these stories to my life, they led to surprising development. If I use a gift symbolized by the horse to get something such as a princess, I receive limited gratification. The princess is taken away by the inventor. But if I bring back my gift symbolized by the flaming feather, I receive a small reward. Then my inner king prods me to continue my quest. Though this process is more demanding, it is more rewarding. The key, I think, is the separation of task and reward. The hunter does not complete the task expecting the reward, but receives it indirectly later. This explains one of the hardest obstacles to any professional musician's career. Said musician creates their debut album in their basement with little expectations. It becomes widely successful. The musician is then tasked with making a follow-up album without letting their newly received fame mucking up the process. This is why sophomore efforts are oftentimes the make or break. Will the record company label continue to fund that artist? The Nikun story offers another piece of wisdom. It is not the nose or hygiene that a relationship is built off of. A beautiful man may be a domineering partner. He may eat you whole. Cooperation is key. Being cooperative is focusing on the more important details, even though most of us are not conscious of them or their importance until a failure gives us new perspective. Nikun was taken by a stranger's appearance. The serpent was not initially dangerous, but being possessed by his beauty was. Beauty is both insignificant and consequential. Nikun's failure was trusting appearances. She was betrayed by appearances, which develops in her a need to look beyond them, thus informing her incentive for cooperation. The desires of the heart should be tested.